Guys, welcome to the Progressive Playbook. Today we have a story for you guys out of Breaking Points with Sagaar Enjeti and Krystal Ball. They had on the Senator of Michigan, Elissa Slotkin, and basically we're just going to react to this video here. They mostly talked about the future of the Democrats because the polling for the Democrats lately has been really bad. Basically, I think it's historic lows since maybe the 80s or 90s. I can't really remember the figure, but it hasn't been good for Democrats. I have my views on why. I don't really think it's because the Republican Party is doing very well for Americans right now. But, I think it kind of feels like maybe the Democrats aren't doing enough against the regime of Trump and the Republicans. But that's basically what they talked about. We're just gonna react to it, and this is at the end of the video. Earlier it was like Epstein and basically normal stuff that we've heard from the Democrat Party, because she's mainly a real centrist, and it's the same things we've always heard, and I think people want to hear more than the same old things that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are feeding us. So that's another reason why the Democrat Party is going down, in my opinion. But we're just gonna react to this video, the last 10 minutes or so of it.
That's the one is urgent and today. And that, but will you cut off aid to Israel so long as they're committing crimes against humanity? There is a difference between a weapon to protect a country from incoming missiles versus other type. Offensive and defensive weapons are different.
So would you support offensive weapons, man? Like, would you stop any offensive aid to Israel?
That certainly, to me, would be a place to look, but I'm not going to cut off a blanket next sale on a defensive weapon.
I also reject that because, for example, if Senator Slotkin, if you were asked to support defensive weapons for Iran, defensive weapons for Russia, you wouldn't back that.
No, but Iran, but
they're defensive. They're just protecting civilians, right?
Right.
So how is it different?
But because Israel being shot at.
So is
Iran. So is Russia.
Ukraine's shooting at Russia right now.
I'm sorry, this is the difference between allies, partners, and adversaries.
Why is it an ally then? What are they doing right now which makes it an ally?
I think allied relationships, just like Lithuania right now, like an allied relationship or a partner.
Just to pause there, who actually buys that if Lithuania was doing a genocide, that America would keep funding them? Israel is the only nation that we back, and they're doing these kind of things to children. Israel's is basically the policy now to starve the children of Gaza and basically rush them out of Gaza towards the west side of Gaza, towards mainly the border of why am I blanking, of Egypt. They haven't even touched that part. They basically want to move them from Gaza to the west side, or just drive them out into other Arab countries like Lebanon and Egypt and things like that. But it's disingenuous to say, since we're allies like Lithuania, that we'd keep backing them if they were creating a genocide. Their aid would be cut off immediately. That's just ridiculous, honestly.
Relationship is a long-standing relationship of information sharing and diplomacy. And that is, to me, it's not a like every day we decide Lithuania is our ally or not. We're allied or not. And sometimes we have big breaks with allies.
And to say, since just because they're allied, that doesn't mean that we can't stop funding them, or we have to be allies forever now through thick and thin. That's like saying, what they should have asked was, if your friend was Ted Bundy and they went on, or if your friend started doing Ted Bundy things, would you stick to him through thick and thin? I don't think so. So what is your last straw? If they're committing a genocide, that's fine. But what else do they have to do? They could basically do anything at that point. If they can do a genocide and still get aid, I don't see if they nuke Iran or if they nuke the Gaza Strip, I don't think that they're going to stop funding them at this point. So, it's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Right? Sometimes we have difficult moments with allies. Sometimes it goes the wrong way with allies. But an allied relationship is a long-term relationship.
I guess it's hard for me to understand why we should ally. Like, I'm sure you believe in, like, or claim to believe in liberal human rights. Why would we ally with a nation that is committing a genocide and live streaming it?
Can I ask, literally, like this, I think about this from the mirror image way, because I do not support the things that Donald Trump is doing, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm an American. So do I want other countries to look at America and be like, we can't stand Donald Trump, so we're going to end any longstanding relationship we have with the American people. We're going to cut off any support we give them on information sharing or intelligence sharing. Like, we are not just our elected leaders. And I think that's the thing that's been lost in the conversation.
So B'Tselem and another Israeli human rights organization joined the Global Consensus Amnesty International, some 800 scholars. There was a piece from an Israeli scholar in the New York Times in saying this is a genocide. Do you accept, even Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday came out and said it's a genocide. Do you accept that? And if you do, what responsibility does a United States senator have for, this is a nation that, we send every year billions of dollars to aid that you have, voted for and supported. Like, what responsibility does the United States senator have to prevent genocide and to stop genocide that we see ongoing?
We have a responsibility up till today to ensure that food is getting in.
Is it a
genocide? People don't starve. I don't know that I'd use that term, but it is violating the law of war.
Why don't you use the term, though?
Because I think, it's, to me, do I think it's ethnic cleansing, which is what I think of in genocide? I don't know if it meets that definition.
Didn't he say it earlier that it was ethnic cleansing? He said that they wanted to force it. This is open from the Israeli government. Like, they're saying it. They're Minister of National Security. They come out and they're like, we don't need shells. We need shells, not food. And we need to encourage migration. They're saying
you're not going to get me to support what the Israeli government is.
Okay, so she won't support what the Israeli government's saying. They're saying genocidal things. Obviously, Smotrich and other members of parliament over there are saying they need to starve Gaza. They need to cleanse. They haven't said ethnic cleanse, but they're trying to be careful with their words. But even then, cleanse, the word cleanse, they need to cleanse Gaza. These are words out of people that have power in the government, in parliament, in Israel. So, if these people are saying that they want genocide, how can you say that they're not doing a genocide? If you can't separate, you don't think that they're doing it and they're saying they're doing it. They are themselves saying that they are wanting to do genocide and really actively doing genocide as they're shooting starving kids and people in Gaza. It's just really obvious at this point. And I think Americans on the left, obviously, and really more and more people from the right, like Krystal said, Marjorie Taylor Greene even said that it's a genocide at this point. And, people from both aisles are starting to see it for sure.
Saying right now, I think the point I was trying to make is it's not just about, we have relationships with nations over time, regardless of who their leaders are. We have really tough moments. We have easier moments. But that doesn't, so I'm not willing to say that, I hate everything ever.
Sure, but so even if you accept that they're committing a genocide, you still wouldn't cut off their aid?
I think that defensive aid and offensive aid are different things, and I think at this point,
so if Nazi Germany said we want defensive aid, it's just you have to see where they're all weapons that are being shipped.
They're not using the weapons that they're using right now. To be honest, if you look at what's happening on the ground, the military part of this conflict is, for the most part, over. What they are doing every single day is around aid, and they are hurting people around the delivery of aid.
People who are just starving people just trying to get aid.
That is that's not high intensity bombs. That's not the weapons.
Well, there's nothing to bomb. What are they going to bomb? The rubble, which they were doing for a little while. But, saying there's no military action. I mean, there's nothing to bomb. I know they're not dropping bombs a ton like they were, but they won't let aid in. They're shooting people trying to get aid. They're blaming Hamas for stealing aid, which is debunked. Obviously, I mean, the military action is nowhere near done at all. If they're still shooting civilians, I mean, it's ridiculous.
That we were talking about 2 years ago. It's just not. I'm sorry. Every single day, the military reports that I read, they are traditional. Like, this is a military that has a bad strategy. It is not the bombs that we were seeing 2 years ago.
It's not a military that has a bad strategy. The strategy is forced starvation. That's their strategy, and they're accomplishing it very effectively with the full backing of the United States government, including sadly Democrats.
Wow.
And so, a couple more questions that I know you have to run. I'm curious why you condemned Rashida Tlaib for using the rally chant, from the river to the sea, something she said for her evokes equal rights.
Yeah.
And you have not condemned Randy Fine, who said that Gazans should, quote, starve away, who floated that the Gaza Strip should be nuked, who called Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and Soran as well, called them Muslim terrorists. Where is the concern over him?
I have no problem condemning Randy Fine, who I don't know. I don't know who that person is.
Randy Fine,
I have no problem condemning someone who talks like that.
Senator, we have to ask you the last question because your staff is telling us. Do you think AIPAC should register as a foreign lobby?
I don't know the answer to that. I think that I know plenty of people who think they should.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
It's not a cop-out answer, don't you think?
I literally, I just guess I'd have to look at the definition. I certainly have had my tough moments with that organization, and
So we stop accepting their funding?
you gotta get your facts straight. I have not been endorsed by AIPAC. I have not. I'm sorry. I was the first Jew elected to the Senate that was not endorsed by any Jewish group. AIPAC, J Street.
You've been the recipient of their funds.
In 2018, when I first ran, people who were members, yes.
I actually did look it up. It's a lie. I think from my knowledge, she didn't actually take any Israel backed PACs in her last campaign for senator in 2024, but she definitely did take funds since 2018 as a representative in 2022. She definitely did take pretty large donations from J Street, AIPAC. It wasn't since 2018, but she has done better since 2024 to my knowledge, for sure. Sorry, my laptop did shut off, but we only have 3 more minutes left.
But I've not been endorsed since then, and I just got to be honest. Like, I think that this is where facts really matter. I've had very, very difficult conversations with my colleagues in that organization, and made a choice back in 2021. So that was the first time I was up for re-election. So I understand that there's a sort of, like, again, cornered position, but to me, like, I call balls and strikes as someone who served in the Middle East.
I have one more question I have to ask you. We do the show. I really do my best to try to uphold, basic human rights, Palestinian humanity, oppose the killing of innocent civilians wherever that happens. And I have to tell you, I feel really guilty that I'm not doing enough. I think all the time about, I'm a mom, I think all the time about those moms who can't feed their babies. Mm-hmm. Those babies are starving to death. And I just want to know, you're a United States Senator, you did vote for some of the bombs that were dropped on refugee camps. When kids have been sniped in the head, tents firebombed, people set on fire. The entire Gaza Strip turned into rubble. And now we're seeing these emaciated bodies of babies starving to death every day. And I
know what you can do.
Does it eat you up? Does it eat you up? Do you think, what more could I do? Do you regret any of your votes? Do you regret any sort of
working on this morning? A group of Jewish rabbis and Muslim community leaders
came together with a proposal that we are working on just getting, like, if we can't get other aid in, at least get baby formula and nutritional supplements for children in. Let that be kind of a green light, never has a problem. No one's trying to eat baby formula other than a baby, right? That is the...
And I do understand that. Obviously the kids have to eat, but there's still other people besides, just babies that are starving, which is obviously the most horrific. But I don't see why it just has to be baby formula. If you can send baby formula in, you can send regular food in. So that means you're working with somebody where they're saying, okay, it's enough of the starving of the children. We'll put the baby formula in, but the food, nah, that ain't gonna work. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So I don't understand that policy. If you're gonna write a policy, you might as well just write all food gets in. Why does it just have to be baby formula? That doesn't make sense.
Proposal that I've been working on all night and this morning. So in terms of what we're trying to do, there's not a moment that goes by that this isn't something that I'm working on, and something that my own community, not online, but my own community has practical things that they want to do. They're willing to raise the money. They're willing to buy the formula. They're willing to do whatever we need to do to get it shipped in. That's how I spend my time.
But you're not willing to cut off aid to Israel.
That to me is the most effective thing that I can do today.
This is so.
You heard it here, folks. Krystal hit it right on the nail on the head. So the most important thing is to get food into the Strip and not defund Israel, because that God forbid the United States defunds Israel. I mean, obviously that is pretty important. I wouldn't say it's more important than feeding the people in Gaza. Of course, that comes first. That's my priority anyways. But yeah, I mean, Israel needs to be defunded, honestly. From the United States, because even me, you saw Krystal very passionate about this situation, and I think it's starting to get to everyone at this point. I don't want to be funding it. A lot of people don't want to be funding this shit here. So,
question: your staff is telling us you absolutely have to go. So we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching.
All right, and that's it. The earlier side of the video was. It was really about Epstein and things of that nature. Didn't really want to bore you guys into that. And I know Israel's been talked about a lot too, but this is a United States senator. She has power to do something, like Krystal said. Even though she's claiming, Democrats don't, have any office right now, the House or Senate or the presidency. That is true, but the Democrats need to start having a voice and stop saying shit like, oh, we don't have a voice right now. That's not going to cut it. And, that's really just the reason why the Democrat Party is falling right now. So hopefully they start to do better. And, yeah, that's it for me on this one, guys. See ya.